Let's do hashtag science. My audience knows what's time for hashtag science. Let me pull up my music. And of course, you know what we're going to talk about, guys, because what's in the news? They can't stop talking about these fucking moon landings. So, India, way to go, India. You did it. You landed on the moon. Great job. And Russia, sorry, Russia. Russia hasn't been doing good lately. You got the whole Ukraine mess going on. They can't seem to get that under control. And now they fucked up on the moon yet again. Too bad, Russia. As you crashed your little lunar vehicle, your little lunar orbiter onto the moon. Whoops. Too bad you didn't have any of those cosmonauts in there. That would have been horrible. That would have been really bad. So let's read more about the stupid moon news. We won't take long. I just have to read it. How could I not at this point? They won't shut up about it. Let's get my music up. Come on, music. Where are you? There we go. Now I'll get the article up. But yeah, that's the new thing. Oh, India landed on the South Pole. They're all involved in the South Pole now because, you know, based on the stupid model that they give you, they're trying to tell you that ice could be found at the South Pole in the craters. Because they can't go on the dark side of the moon, apparently. Apparently China kind of went there, but we can only be on, like, you know, the light side of the moon. I don't know why. Do they need light to, like, test the minerals? That's apparently what they're doing, but, so apparently they're interested in the southern pole of the moon. Still in the, you know, the part we can see. I don't know. It's almost like there's only one face of the moon. It's weird. And they're telling us they could land on it. So yeah, there's apparently ice in these like craters, these dark craters of the moon, because there could be shadows that they cast. So there's perma ice there. And that like this should somehow mean something to us. Like that's like, you know, valuable in some way. That there's ice on the moon. Here's my question: if it's so valuable, why we let India there? We're like, oh yeah, go India. You take all that valuable water resource on the moon. We'll let you get to it first. The Chandrayaan 3. Where's my article? I had two. I think I'll read this one. Sometimes I don't remember what I pulled. So yeah, India's on the moon. I don't know, India, like I kind of like see what's going on over there. I've seen those like Indian slums and that damn Ganges River that like you just throw all the dead bodies in. How about this? Maybe clean up your slums, like maybe feed all those like poor, hungry people that you have, those untouchables. You know, maybe clean up that Ganges River. I don't know, maybe do a little house cleaning before you go to the moon. Just saying, guys. You got a bunch of money, a bunch of resources to go to the moon, but yet you got such a fucked up country. No, Z said India's fucked up. Yeah, Z said India's fucked up. What are you going to do about it? India's fucked. We're on the moon now. Yeah, that makes sense. I saw Slumdog Millionaire. It doesn't look like there's anything good going on in those slums. But you're on the moon. Great. How's that it help that like kid who's like, you know, kind of hungry, living in a fucking like a hut, like a grass hut? How's that helping him? You're on the moon now. Explain it to me. I'd like to hear it. Anyway, let's go into it because apparently this is from the AP. Ooh, the Associated Press. Of course. So we know it's true because it's hashtag science. Let's get into it. India's lunar rover goes down a ramp to the moon's surface and takes a walk. It's from New Delhi. A lunar rover slid down a ramp from the lander in India's spacecraft within hours of its historic touchdown. Yay! Near the moon's south pole. India's space official said Thursday as the country celebrated its new scientific accomplishment. And it was funny, they showed a bunch of Indian people like jumping around, like waving flags, clapping, as they're watching like a cartoon on the TV, saying, "This is our landing on the moon." This is, you know, look like a Bollywood production. Hey India, next time you like show the celebrations of the moon landing, can you add some music and have some of those hot Indian bitches dancing around with their belly buttons. Can we kind of like make this a bit more theatrical? I think we're lacking on the theatrics. If you're going to do the Indian moon landing, I want to see the Bollywood version of it, okay? That's what Z's calling for. Let's do it right. Get me to head that stupid space agency. India took a walk on the moon? The state-run Indian Space Research Organization said, adding that the Chandrayaan-3 rover would conduct experiments over 14 days, including an analysis of the mineral composition of the lunar surface. Oh, great. Didn't we do that already? I mean, like, didn't we already have, like, people up there? And then they say, like, Apollo 11 through 17, 1969 through 1972. Weren't they, like, playing golf on the moon and stuff? Riding around dune buggies? Didn't they take, like, the dirt back here to be analyzed? Why do we need to send a rover up there that's not going to come back to analyze it and send back data? Why can't we just analyze, the lunar soil that we apparently took back physically? Wouldn't that make more sense? I don't know. What do I know? I just ask questions. So Z does. Let's continue. Residents of the world's most populous country had crowded around televisions, offices, shops, restaurants on Wednesday and erupted into clapping, dancing, and exchanging of sweets when they saw the lander's smooth touchdown. I saw it. Like I said, they need more dancing, more clapping. I want the Bollywood version. Those chicks are hot. Just saying. Let's continue. It landed on uncharted territory that scientists believe could hold vital reserves of frozen water. India goes where no nation's gone before. I read Thursday's headline in the Times of India Daily. While the Indian Express newspaper exclaimed, "The moon is India." Propaganda, anybody? Oh, but Z, don't you get it? It's not all the countries. How could all the countries be colluding and faking space and the moon landing? Does Z? Wouldn't, Russia, just kind of blow up the, U.S.'s spot and be like, those idiots didn't really go to the moon? Right, because you guys aren't realizing, you're assuming something. You're presupposing that this presentation they give you of politics and independent countries, autonomous sovereign borders, you're assuming and presupposing that that's actually real. Because you can't get beyond your indoctrinated bookends. Because you're patriotic. You love it so much. God bless America. Land of the free, home of the brave, best country ever. Declaration of Independence, Constitution. Exactly. That's how they got you. Because your emotional attachment to your patriotism is going to cloud your judgment. It's going to cloud your logic, and it's going to cause you to miss the evidence that shows you that there really is no independent countries. That it's not a new world order. It's just a world order. It's been here since time immemorial. You get it? But you can't think because, America. Of course, America's the greatest, way better than you, stupid India, China, and Russia. So, of course, we're actually engaged in this geopolitical conflict of autonomous independent nations. So, of course, if indeed space was being faked, they could never do it, Z, because they're at war with each other, dummy. Yeah, I know, you're the dummy. You just fell for it. Let's continue. I go off sometimes. AJ Bhagava, a New Delhi-based architect, said it was a great experience watching broadcasts of the landing, and then he felt it was the culmination of hard work by India's scientists over the years. Well, why? What was so hard about it? Why didn't they just use all that technology that we had from, the late 60s and early 70s when we were just going back and forth like nothing? What's the culmination of the hard work? The U.S. apparently did it 60 some years ago. Give me a break. What's so hard about it? So if India came up with I don't know, what's a basic technology from the late 60s? like a blender, like the microwave. If India invented the microwave, like, would you consider that such? It's just old technology, apparently. At least I thought it was. Let's continue. Prime Minister, somebody moody, and other politicians should not take credit for this achievement. Bhargava, the engineer or the architect, said. Indian Space Research Organization Chairman Samna said the lander had touched down close to the center of a 4.5 kilometer wide area that had been targeted for the landing. Ooh, pretty good, guys. Good aim. You made it. It landed within 300 meters of that point. Yeah, sure. The Press Trust of India cited him saying, the rover was on the move and working very well. Samna said there are 2 scientific instruments, the rover in the rover, and 3 instruments on board the lander, and all of them have been switched on sequentially. They will study basically the mineral composition of the moon as well as the atmosphere of the moon and seismic activities. After a failed attempt to land on the moon in 2019, India on Wednesday joined the United States, Soviet Union, and China as only the 4th country to achieve the milestone. The successful mission showcases India's rising standing as a technology and space powerhouse, and dovetails with the image of Modi is trying to project the ascendant country asserting its place among the global elite, right? The mission began more than a month ago at an estimated cost of $75 million. Like I said, it would have been nice if they used like maybe some of that money to kind of clean up that like fucked up country. No, India's great, Z. That wonderful culture and heritage. I get it. I'm just saying. Maybe before you go to the moon, you kind of, I don't know, feed people. Make sure they have the basics of sanitation, healthcare. I don't know. Maybe that would be nice before you fucking spend 75 mil to start with to blast off to the moon. I don't know. Maybe do that first. What do I know, though? Let's continue. Many countries and private companies are interested in the South Pole region because its permanently shadowed craters may hold frozen water that could help future astronaut missions as a potential source of drinking water. Make rocket fuel. You can make rocket fuel from water, which is interesting. Because why can't we just make, like regular engine fuel from the water here? I mean, I don't know. Water does have, oxygen in it. Some people say, I don't know, that you could use a process called electrolysis to basically separate the hydrogen from separate the oxygen from the hydrogen in the water. I don't know. Hydrogen seems to be kind of, inflammable. You can use the hydrogen as the power from the water. Just separate it. Anyway, what does he know? Who knows? Let's continue. So I guess you could do it on the moon, but not here. So I guess you can, use water to create combustion on the moon, but not here. That'd be too much. What do I know? Let's continue. India's success comes just days after Russia's Luna 25, which was aiming for the same lunar region, spun into an uncontrolled orbit and crashed. It would have been the first successful Russian lander on the moon after a gap of 47 years. Oh, too bad, Russia. Like I said, Russia's been taking a lot of L's lately. First to Ukraine, then you fuck up your trip to the moon. What's going on, Russia? Can't get it together, I guess. Russia's head of state-controlled space corporation, Roskosmos, or Roskosmos. I always love the Russian names in space, like Sputnik, the cosmonaut, and Roskosmos. Russia has the coolest, space names and imagery, They attributed the failure to a lack of expertise due to the long break. Too bad, you guys. I guess you were a little rusty. Due to the long break in lunar research that followed the last Soviet mission to the moon in 1976. Yeah. It seems like, after the early to mid 70s, everybody just gave up on the moon. They were like, I guess that's old. Until now. The moon's back in, guys. You remember when bell bottoms came back into fashion? Oh yeah, the moon's like bell bottoms. It's back. Embrace it, everybody. Let's finish up. Active since the 1960s. India has launched satellites for itself and other countries and successfully put one in orbit around Mars in 2015 or 2014. India is planning its first mission to the International Space Station next year in collaboration with the U.S. That's cool. There's going to be some Indian people up there. Hey, but India, if I were up there with you as a cosmonaut or an astronaut, I would request one thing. Please leave the chana masala at home. You guys know Indian food has that distinct smell to it, that curry smell. I'd imagine it wouldn't be too pleasant to have that curry smell permeating the fucking ISS. Can you do that, India? Can you leave the curry at home? And plus, I mean, I've had chana masala, guys. We've seen what that bathroom looks like on that ISS. Deep Dog's laughing. We've seen how people urinate and go number 2 on that space station. It looks a little, I don't know, iffy. I mean, I know what chana masala does to me. I usually have to hit the bathroom halfway through the meal, man. Something about that Indian food kind of runs right through you. Maybe leave the chana masala off the ISS. It might get a little messy, just saying. Guys, have you seen the bathroom on the ISS? How they take a dump? I'm going to put it like this way, guys. The ISS, bathroom debunks, the ISS. Just saying, guys. I want you to think about it. You can't take a shit in 0G. I don't care what they say. You just can't, all right? Just imagine, again, guys, just the hygiene alone, the logistics of men and women in basically a tin can in the 0G atmosphere of space, moving at 17,000 miles an hour, apparently, 17,500 miles an hour, 250 miles above the supposed Earth. Just think about the logistics of that endeavor. The logistics alone debunk it. You just can't do it. It's dumb. It's too much. I'm tired of it. Alright, let's move on from the hashtag science segment. Got that out of the way. It's absolutely laughable. Space shits. Zeke gives it to you like it is, guys. You don't have to, I don't need to do a Nathan Oakley show where we just do hardcore scientific method. Let's just think, guys. Right. Explosive diarrhea, like Gary says, does not work in space. It debunks space right there. I don't need to spend all that scientific method time like Nathan Oakley does. I don't need to really get into the weeds like they do. Shitting in space debunks the whole thing. Just put Z up. Get me to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I want that debate. I would just say, look at you, Neil. Look at your fat fucking ass, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can imagine your diet. I could imagine Neil deGrasse Tyson after that, Dunkin' Donuts coffee kicks in. And you have to run to the bathroom. That little mess that you make each morning, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Imagine that, but on the ISS. Debunked.